So when you think of magic, forget about the dusty old books and secret societies for a minute. Today, we're diving into something totally different, a modern, pragmatic, and honestly, kind of rebellious system that treats reality itself like an operating system, one you can actually learn to code. Let's dig in. Here it is. This is the single, most radical question at the very heart of Chaos Magic. It's an idea that just flips tradition completely on its head. It doesn't ask what you truly believe in your heart of hearts. No, it asks, what belief are you willing to use to get the job done? At its core, Chaos Magic really isn't about faith. It's all about function. It popped up in the 1970s, and it's built from the ground up for one thing, getting tangible effects. It's a practice that pretty much demands that you experiment, personalize everything, and figure out what actually creates a result for you. So this is the basic operating system right here. Think of it like this. Your belief is the software. You can swap it out, you can run different programs depending on the task, and since you're the developer, it's all about personal experimentation. The target? Well, it's usually your own mind, which frames magic as a kind of high-octane applied psychology. You know, to really get what Chaos Magic is all about, you have to see it for what it was, a deliberate, conscious break from the past. It was a full-on rebellion, born out of a real frustration with the old, stuffy ways of doing things. In this contrast, it's everything. I mean, where traditional magical orders were super rigid, hierarchical, and just bogged down in these incredibly complex ceremonies, Chaos Magic showed up with this punk rock attitude. It's pragmatic, it's deeply individualistic, and it is laser-focused on one thing, streamlined, effective techniques that actually work. Now, the groundwork for all this was actually laid decades earlier by this incredible artist and occultist, Austin Osman Spare, but the movement really caught fire in 1970s Britain, riding that whole counterculture wave. It was finally formalized in 1978 when Peter J. Carroll and Ray Sherwin published the first key books, giving this radical new approach its first real user manuals. Okay, so we've covered the philosophy, the why. Now let's get into the toolbox. How do people who practice this stuff actually, well, do it? All right, the most famous technique by far is called sigilization. The whole goal here is actually pretty simple. You take a desire, you turn it into an abstract symbol, and then you plant that symbol directly into your subconscious, bypassing all the doubt, all the noise, all the static of your conscious brain. So here's how you do it, the nuts and bolts. First, you state your intent, gotta be crystal clear. Then, you just deconstruct it. Pull out all the vowels, then get rid of any repeating letters. What you have left, you artistically smash together into a weird, abstract glyph. And finally, and this is absolutely the most crucial part, you charge that symbol with energy, and then you consciously, deliberately forget about it. Let the subconscious take it from there. Now, you can think of a sigil as kind of like a fire and forget command you send to the universe. A servitor, on the other hand, that's like a little program you write and then let run in the background, designed to perform a specific, ongoing task for you. It's definitely a more advanced application of the same core ideas. But here's the thing. None of this works without something called gnosis. Gnosis is the key that unlocks the door to your subconscious. It's this altered state of intense, single-pointed focus where your internal editor, that little voice of doubt, that psychic censor, is temporarily shut down, allowing you to plant your intention. And true to its whole flexible nature, there's not just one way to get there. You can use what are called inhibitory methods to calm the mind way, way down. Think deep meditation or self-hypnosis. Or you can go the exact opposite way with excitatory methods, using things like ecstatic dancing or intense drumming to totally overload the senses and achieve that exact same state. Whatever works. So, we've seen the tools, but what's the really radical philosophy that holds this whole thing together? This is where Chaos Magic gets really interesting and maybe a little dangerous. This right here. This is the infamous maxim associated with practice. It sounds totally anarchic, doesn't it? But its real meaning is way more subtle than you might think. See, this isn't a green light for lawlessness or doing whatever you want without consequence. It's a statement about the nature of reality itself. It suggests that since no single belief system can ever be proven to be 100% true, you are therefore totally free to temporarily adopt any model, any belief that is effective for reaching your goal. This idea leads a lot of practitioners to what's called the psychological model. And in this view, magic isn't about spooky external forces at all. It's about mind hacking. Sigils become tools for programming your subconscious, spirits and gods can be seen as psychological archetypes, and the whole system becomes this functional, completely non-supernatural framework for personal change. To help organize all of this, Peter J. Carroll offered this really simple model to categorize pretty much any magical act. So if you want to embody an archetype, like, say, Thor, to feel more courageous, that's invocation. If you want to call forth some entity, that's evocation. Then you've got divination for getting information, enchantment for causing change in the world, and illumination for self-knowledge. And because it's so new and so ridiculously adaptable, Chaos Magick did not stop evolving in the 70s. Oh no, the rebellion is still going, and it's evolving right into our digital world. You see this symbol everywhere in these circles, the Chaos Star, and it's really the perfect logo for the whole philosophy. You've got these 8 arrows pointing out in every direction, symbolizing that core idea. Any path, any belief, any direction is a potential route to a result. There is no single right way to go. And the practice just keeps on evolving. Today, you've got people talking about technomancy, which is using software or social media for magical work. There's neuromancy, which treats your nervous system like a biological circuit that you can program. And practitioners are building new rituals out of literally anything: pop culture, movies, video games, their own daily lives. Just remember that date we talked about, 1978. Let that sink in. This isn't some ancient tradition recovered from a lost tomb. It's a modern invention. It is younger than the movie Star Wars. Which, of course, brings us to the big final question. Look, if our beliefs have a real, measurable effect on our actions and our perceptions, which modern psychology tells us they absolutely do, and Chaos Magick is just a system for deliberately hacking and manipulating those beliefs to get a desired outcome, at what point does that stop being psychology and start becoming something else entirely? Something to think about.